My sister pointed a gun at me and said, "Sign the papers, or else." My dad watched silently. I didn't sign. I just smiled and said, "Look at this." She did, and went pale. 5 seconds later, there was a loud bang. That's where the day ended, but where it began. It looked like nothing more than a family get-together. We'd rented a small house outside the city, a plain, practical place with beige walls, mismatched chairs and a table already set. When I walked in, it felt a little like someone else's vacation rental, and I guess technically that's what it was. Mom was fussing in the kitchen, unpacking groceries from paper bags, a loaf of bread, a bunch of bananas, sandwich meat, the kind of food you buy when you want to look like you made an effort without really cooking. "Hi, honey," she called, smiling too brightly, as if this was all perfectly normal. Dad followed behind her, carrying a cooler with the slow heaviness of a man who never rushes unless he has to. He nodded at me, not cold, not warm, just Dad. Then came my sister, sunglasses, hair brushed to perfection, perfume already filling the air. She kissed the air next to my cheek. "Glad you made it," she said. For a while, it felt ordinary, like maybe this really was just a family day, the kind where Mom sets out too much food, Dad sits at the head of the table, and my sister talks about the traffic on the way over. We even went for a short walk before lunch. The path behind the house looped around a small field. My mom pointed out some wildflowers. My dad made a comment about the weather, and my sister scrolled through her phone when she thought no one was looking. It was the kind of walk families take when they don't know what else to do with themselves. I answered their questions politely, kept my voice light. From the outside, we probably looked like a normal family spending a normal Saturday together back at the house. Mom got busy arranging food on plates, sandwiches cut into triangles, potato chips poured into a bowl, fruit piled high in the center. She always overdid it, even when there were only 3 of us eat something, she said, pushing a plate toward me like it was her mission. "I already ate," I said. She laughed it off, but I saw the flicker in her eyes. She wanted everything to look perfect, even if it wasn't. We sat down together, Dad at the head of the table, Mom to his right, my sister next to me for a while. The only sounds were forks and glasses, the kind of silence you don't notice until you realize no one said a real thing in minutes. Then my sister spoke light and casual, as though she just thought of it. "So are you going to do something fun with the inheritance?" The word landed like a stone in a still pond. My mom looked down at her plate. My dad took a sip of water. My sister's eyes stayed locked on me, too bright, too fixed. I shrugged. "I haven't decided yet." Her smile twitched. "You've got options, at least more than the rest of us." Dad cleared his throat. "Family should share," he said, softly, "it's the right thing." I sipped my coffee. "We'll see." Mom jumped in quickly, changing the subject. She asked about my apartment, my work. But the mood had already shifted. The inheritance sat at the table with us, now heavier than the food, louder than the silence. We ate a little more. My sister made small digs disguised as jokes. Dad mostly stayed quiet. Mom kept asking if I wanted more fruit. Then after a pause long enough to make the air feel stiff, my sister pushed her plate away and smiled. "Come with us." She said, "We want to show you something." Her tone was light, but something in me tightened. Dad stood, his chair scraped the floor. He didn't meet my eyes. They led me down the hallway into a spare room, no pictures, no decorations, just a table, 2 chairs and a stack of papers waiting in the middle. "This will make everything simpler," my sister said, sliding the papers toward me. Dad stood near the door, arms crossed, silent. I sat, picked up the first page, legal words stacked neatly across the paper. I flipped to the second, then the third. My breath slowed. It was a waiver, a document stating I gave up all rights to the inheritance and transferred everything to them, not a share, not even a split, everything. I let out a dry laugh. "Are you serious? You actually expect me to sign this?" My sister didn't flinch. "It's what he would have wanted, really." I asked, "Did he send you a memo?" Dad's voice was sharp. "Don't be difficult." "It's not difficult." I said, "It's ridiculous." The pen sat waiting on the table. My sister nudged it toward me. "Let's be adults." She said, "We can do this quickly and with dignity." Dignity. I raised my eyebrows. "This is daylight robbery with stationery." Her face flushed. "You don't deserve it." "Maybe not," I said, "but I'm not signing it." Her chair screeched as she stood. "Sign it?" No, the word hung there bigger than it should have been. My dad's eyes narrowed. "You'll regret this." I looked back at him calmly. "I regret showing up," and then in one smooth motion, my sister reached into her bag and pulled out a gun. The room went silent, even the hum of the lamps seemed to cut out from the kitchen. My mom's voice floated down the hall. "Tea is almost ready." My sister leveled the barrel at me. "Sign the papers," she said, or else. My dad stayed frozen by the door. His silence said more than words. I put the pen down gently. "No," I said. Again, the air felt heavy, pressing against my skin. Then I smiled, small, deliberate, and pointed past her to the corner of the room. "Look at this." Her head whipped around. My dad followed. Their eyes landed on the black dot in the corner of the wall. My sister's face strained. What is that?" Is that a camera? Say hello, I said, you're being filmed. She spun back toward me, panic flooding her face, then back to the lens. You can't, she stammered, but stopped. The gun shook in her hands. She raised it toward the camera. Her voice cracked, turn it off, can't, I said, it's working fine. Her eyes darted from me to the lens, desperate, she pulled the trigger. The bang ripped through the room. Mom gasped in the kitchen, dropping a spoon. The camera stayed standing, its little red light still glowing. My sister's eyes widened, confusion written all over her face. My dad stared at me, pale and speechless. I sat still, calm on the outside. Everything else tight inside, and the camera kept watching, steady and unblinking. If you want to understand why that day with the gun happened, you have to go back a bit. I grew up in a family where I was the middle child, which already tells you most of the story. I wasn't the golden firstborn, and I wasn't the baby who could do no wrong. I was the one in the middle, the one who got lost in the shuffle. So I made noise. That was my role. If I couldn't get noticed by being good, I'd get noticed by being bad. I was the kid climbing fences, sneaking out at night, jumping off sheds with an umbrella to see if it would slow me down. I wasn't suicidal. I just liked the rush. I liked knowing I was doing something I shouldn't in a weird way.